Welcome to Hello America, Millennium Daily News Update. I am with you. Now, details this time. Kamala Harris and Donald Trump will meet for the first time face-to-face Tuesday night. For perhaps their only debate, a high-pressure opportunity to showcase their starkly different visions for the country after a tumultuous campaign summer. The event, at 9 p.m. Eastern, in Philadelphia, will offer Americans their most detailed look at a campaign that's dramatically changed since the last debate in June. In rapid fashion, President Joe Biden bowed out of the race after his disastrous performance. Trump survived an assassination attempt and both sides choose their running mates. Harris is intent on demonstrating that she can press the Democratic case against Trump better than Biden did. Trump, in turn, is trying to paint the Vice President as an out-of-touch liberal while trying to win over voters skeptical he should return to the White House. This year's presidential race is a genuine contest of ideas between Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump, with clear differences on taxes, abortion, immigration, global alliances, climate change, and democracy itself. Since replacing President Joe Biden as the Democratic nominee, Harris has pledged to chart a new way forward. Even as she has embraced many of his ideas, she wants middle-class tax cuts, tax hikes on the wealthy and corporations, a restoration of abortion rights, and a government that aggressively addresses climate change, among other stances. Seeking a return to the White House, Trump wants to accomplish much of what he couldn't do during a term that was sidetracked by the global pandemic. The Republican wants the extension and expansion of his 2017 tax cuts, a massive increase in tariffs, more support for fossil fuels, and a greater concentration of government power in the White House. House Speaker Mike Johnson is hosting a ceremony Tuesday to posthumously present Congress' highest honor, the Congressional Gold Medal, to 13 U.S. service members who were killed during the disastrous withdrawal from Afghanistan. Even as the politics of a presidential election swirl around the event, both Democrats and Republicans supported the legislation to honor the 13 U.S. troops who were killed along with more than 170 Afghans in a suicide bombing at Abbey Gate near Kabul's airport in August 2021. President Joe Biden signed the legislation in December 2021. The top Republican and Democratic leaders for both the House and Senate are expected to speak at Tuesday's ceremony in the Capitol Rotunda. The event is taking place against the backdrop of a bitter back and forth over who is to blame for the rushed and deadly evacuation from Kabul. Johnson scheduled the ceremony just hours before the first debate between Democrat Kamala Harris and Republican Donald Trump. Many students in Georgia's Barrow County are headed back to class Tuesday, 6 days after a shooting killed two teachers and two students at the school district's Appalachia High School northeast of Atlanta, while no return date has been set for the 1,900 students at that high school. The 13,000 students in Barrow counties. Other schools will return, including at the middle school and elementary school that border the Appalachia campus in Winder. Superintendent Dallas Ledoff, in a video message Sunday, said sheriff's deputies and state troopers will provide extra security when schools reopen Tuesday, with counseling available at all campuses. He said that if students or employees aren't ready to return, they should contact their school's principal for aid. We know the days ahead are going to be difficult, and that we have some staff and some students who are not ready to return to school, Ledoff said. We also believe as a school system that it is our responsibility to provide a safe space for those who are. The United States and Britain formally accused Iran on Tuesday of supplying short-range ballistic missiles to Russia to use in the war in Ukraine, and said they will take measures to punish those involved. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken, speaking alongside British Foreign Secretary David Lammy during a visit to London, said Iran had ignored warnings that The transfer of such weapons would be a profound escalation of the conflict. Russia has now received shipments of these ballistic missiles and will likely use them within weeks in Ukraine. Against Ukrainians, Blinken said, the supply of Iranian missiles enables Russia to use more of its arsenal for targets that are further from the front line. Shortly after Blinken and Lamy spoke, the US, Britain and Germany issued a joint statement calling the missile transfers a direct threat to European security and said they would impose penalties on Iran, including the cancellation of bilateral air services agreements with Iran and sanctions on individuals and entities involved in Iran's ballistic missile program. We will also work towards imposing sanctions on Iran Air, they said. Several days of triple-digit temperatures have stoked a wildfire in Southern California that burned so hard it created its own thunderstorm-like weather systems, but firefighters are hoping to gain the upper hand as cooler weather is expected to move into the area after Tuesday. The line fire has forced at least 6,000 people to evacuate and threatened thousands of home and commercial structures as it burns along the edge of the San Bernardino National Forest, about 65 miles east of Los Angeles. Firefighters have been working in steep terrain and challenging conditions in temperatures above 100 degrees, limiting their ability to control the blaze, which has created the type of clouds that can spawn gusty winds and lightning strikes. We're dealing with triple-digit temperatures and hard-to-reach steep areas where there has not been fire in decades or in recorded history, so all that vegetation has led to significant fuel loads, Cal Fire spokesperson Rick Carhart said. A short break from the Hello America, Millennium Daily News. Stay tuned.